I've previously posted an episode on replacing the large skylight on my Flagstaff T19QBHW, but I've since removed it from YouTube. Why would I do that? If you have an A-frame camper that has a rear skylight like this, you'll probably eventually have to replace it. This episode is an update explaining what I initially did, what I discovered, the problems I ran into, and how I eventually solved them. If you want to know how to do this job and hopefully save some money, stay tuned and let's hop to it. In the summer of 2024, I decided that I just couldn't keep trying to repair the leaking rear skylight and that it was time to replace it. Previously, I had replaced the two smaller front bubble skylights, and I used the experience to develop a new mounting system that was working very well. Those skylights are still holding tight and have been leak-free. I decided to try this new system when I replaced the large skylight. It was working so well on the smaller front skylights that I felt confident that it will work well again. Well, I was wrong. Let me start by showing you how I did the original replacement back in September of 2024. First, I removed the inner garnish ring and shade assembly. Since the skylight is over the bed, I pulled the mattress out of the camper so it wouldn't get dirty or damaged. Now I set up my multi-position folding ladder as a platform to work from. You can see I had used the turnabout tape to keep the top and side edges sealed, as by now this original skylight was leaking quite badly. Removing the turnabout tape was a slow, messy, and intensive process, consisting of manually pulling up the tape and using this tool to slice through the sticky strands of glue. I managed to get all the turnabout tape off. After it was all removed, I had to break the flange free from the panel. Using the scraper and a rubber mallet, I slowly worked my way all around the perimeter. Just for fun, before I finished, I decided to just punch out the skylight. I finished freeing the remaining flange. You can see that the factory originally attached the skylight with a glue. Although the glue did a very good job keeping the skylight in place, it created a pretty big problem. The skylight that they originally installed is made out of a fairly light gauge plastic, and it's quite flexible. The actual panels that they use to form the roof and walls are a composite system made by sandwiching an expanded foam core between an outer thin aluminum sheet and a thin Luan wood inner panel. This creates a panel that's fairly strong and lightweight, but it's not perfect. When you tow an A-frame, the roof panels are designed to fold flat, which makes an A-frame compact and more aerodynamic. The big issue is, as you go down the road, driving over bumps, expansion joints, and other road hazards, the shock of these impacts travels through the camper. The flattened roof panels absorb this shock, and since they are laying flat, they start to flex a bit. Since my rear panel has a big hole cut into it to mount the skylights, this creates a weakness in the integrity of the rear roof. To counter this, they bond the skylight rigidly to the panel using a two-part adhesive. Now the skylight itself becomes part of the panel structure and integrity. In theory, this will keep the flexing motion mostly in check. There's a problem with the way they did this, in that the skylight material is too thin to last under this stress. As the panel flexes, the thin skylight plastic tries to also flex, and this causes the plastic to start cracking. The skylight corners are the part of the structure that takes most of this stress, and they're almost always the first to crack. Next, the valleys from the flange to the dome start to crack. Over the weeks and months, these cracks get bigger and allow rain to seep and drip into the interior. Congratulations, you now have an ugly, leaky skylight. Back to the camper, I used a powered multi-tool and a smooth edge blade to remove all the old adhesive so the new system will have a clean bonding area to adhere to. Next, I carefully used solvent to clean the surface of any remaining Eternabond glue. When I mounted the front skylights, I experimented with a new system that promised to be easier, quicker, and less expensive. In September of 2023, I used this system to successfully mount the passenger side front bubble skylight. Currently, that's over 2.5 years ago. Since then, it's been towed over 2,000 miles and has endured rain, wind, snow, and plenty of rough roads without any cracks or leaks. A big reason for this is the quality of the replacement skylights I was able to find. I ordered the new units from a company called RV Skylights, and the first thing I noticed was how much heavier the Lexan that they use is compared to the factory installed units. This makes the skylights much more robust and less likely to form those stress cracks. At the time I ordered the large skylight, it cost me about $395. When I attached the front skylight, instead of using a solid glue, I used double-face Eternabond tape. It was easy to do, pretty cheap, and quick. Once the Eternabond gripped, it held the Lexan securely. To finish it off, I used Sikaflex 221 urethane sealant to waterproof all the edges. You can watch the entire episode of me installing the front skylight using this system. I'll put a link at the end of this video. Well, since it worked so well for the front skylight, I decided to use the same system for the big one. And initially it was very successful. The new rear skylight looked and worked great. We used the camper on numerous weekend excursions and towed it over 500 miles totally leak-free. And then it failed. In May of 2025, we were on a 5-day camping trip in the mountains of North Carolina and got hit with a 2-day heavy rainstorm. During this deluge, the back window started leaking. We really weren't very happy with a wet bed, and I once again applied some Eternabond tape to the top edges to temporarily fix this disaster. Obviously, the double-faced Eternabond seal didn't hold, but I had to figure out why. Due to my busy schedule, I left the outer Eternabond patch in place for a year, but recently I decided to go ahead and get it repaired properly. The first thing I had to do was figure out why the seal failed. It had been working great, but then it just suddenly started leaking. After poking at it a bit, I figured out what happened. The double-faced Eternabond did its job, gripping and securing the Lexan to the panel. But the time of year when I did this job had a lot to do with this. I did the installation in late September, just as the weather was cooling down. We were able to camp leak-free during the fall, winter, and into the spring. The problem surfaced in May after we had a few weeks of very warm weather. The Eternabond, sandwiched under the tinted Lexan, heated up, and as we drove the 3.5 hours to the campground, the roof panel was free to start flexing again and pulled the softened adhesive free, creating a pretty good-sized leak. Without a good solid connection between the skylight and the roof panel, the thin bead of Sikaflex 221 edge caulking also fell victim to panel flexing, and it too pulled free from the roof. The two front skylights are still perfectly leak-free, but that probably is due to the fact that the smaller skylights aren't subject to the intense panel flexing that the massive rear one is. Now that I know what the problem is and I understand the engineering, I have to fix it, and I decided to just go back to using a 2-part adhesive to firmly bond the skylight as part of the structure. I'm pretty sure that the heavier Lexan of the new skylight should last much longer and be much less susceptible to cracking than the factory-installed lightweight one had been. I researched the type of adhesive to use, and I found that another Sika product, Sika Fast 3131, works very well. It's a 2-part acrylic adhesive, very durable, and is pretty difficult to find. I was able to order a tube online through a company called Ellsworth Adhesives, and it was not cheap. At the time that I bought it, it was over $90 a tube, including the shipping. Naturally, in order to apply it, I also needed to purchase a special caulking gun that will dispense the 2 parts simultaneously. This is the one I was able to buy off Amazon. It's also not cheap and cost around $80. Yeah, I'll probably never use it again. Oh well. To mix the 2 parts of adhesive together, I also needed to buy a box of mixing nozzles. Here's the nozzles I ordered, but more on that in a bit. The weekly weather report looked good, so I started the project. I once again removed the inner garnish and the shade. I wrestle out the bed mattress. Inside the skylight opening, you can see how gooey and gummy the Eternabond has become. This is going to be messy. Outside, I set up the ladder platform. It's a hot day and the Eternabond patch I had applied easily pulls free. The temperature is in the upper 80s and low 90s, and the sunshine really softens up the tape's glue. Using my multi-scraper, the Skylight pulls free fairly easily. The biggest issue is the glue from the double-sided Eternabond tape is very gummy and is making a mess of everything. I have to remove all of this goo, so I start by manually scraping off as much as I can from the Skylight. It's a very slow process. After I get off all the easier stuff, I use this product, Pro Power Goo Gone, to help. Unlike most solvents and cleaners, it's safe to use on Lexan. The process I use is simple. Spray it on the glop, scrape it to remove as much adhesive as possible, and repeat. After a couple hours of scraping and wiping, I finally had it all cleaned up. Now I have to do the same thing on the A-frame. Before I start, I lay some plastic on the bed area so if things get too sloppy, it won't get all over the plywood. After a lot more Goo Gone and scraping, I finally managed to get it all cleaned up. I have to now scrub all the surfaces with soapy water to get rid of any remaining adhesive and Goo Gone. To be sure the new adhesive gets a good grip, I take some 800 grit sandpaper and scuff up the gluing surfaces. Then I wipe them all down with denatured alcohol. I have the components set for assembly, but according to the instructions I found online, once mixed, the adhesive sets up very quickly, so I have to have everything ready to go. A very important step is to apply weight to the Skylight to make sure the glue makes proper contact. In order to do that, I need to make a wooden rack that will fit right on top of the Skylight flange. I grab a couple of 1x8 boards and a couple of 2x4s and fabricate the rack. When I use it, I'll put a piece of 1/2 inch sheeting on top and put about 80 pounds of weight on it until the adhesive sets up. I drop the roof down and get ready to mount the Skylight. The roof panel has a slight downward bow just above the Skylight opening. I have to make this all level, so I take a screw jack and make some minor adjustments. I tape a couple of alignment blocks down. When I set the Skylight in place, I'll butt the flange against them to position it properly. It's time to do a dry run. I set up everything in place and make sure there are no issues. Once I get going, I won't have a lot of time before the Sikafast sets up, so things really have to go smoothly. Due to the hot temperatures we've been having, I have to do this early in the evening while the sun isn't shining directly on the camper. The shadows are starting to fall on the A-frame, so I better get ready. I put the adhesive in the gun and screw on the nozzle. Well, no I don't. The mixing nozzle doesn't fit. What the heck? What am I supposed to do now? I go to the website for the company I used to buy the Sikafast. Nowhere does it even suggest a mixing nozzle or anything. I guess I'd better call them on the phone. I talked to a really nice guy named Steve. Steve does a bit of research and confirmed that Sikafast has a proprietary mixing nozzle that I need to buy. The good news is they have them in stock and I can get it early next week, just before the expected rain comes into my area. The bad news is they only sell them in lots of 50. That means to get a nozzle, it's going to cost me about $200. All right, I'm not very happy. I only need 1 or 2 nozzles to do this job. What am I going to do with 48 extra nozzles? Obviously, I spent a couple of hours trying to find a source that would sell me just a few of the nozzles. Naturally, I came up empty-handed. With no other choice, I ordered the ridiculous amount of 50 nozzles. 5 days later, the nozzles finally arrived. You can see how different they are from the standard mixing nozzles and how they're designed to fit this particular Sika product. I do have a bunch of these nozzles left, so if you decide to do this project, contact me at my email posted in the comments, and I'll be happy to sell you a few as long as my supply lasts. There's no sense in you wasting all your money on nozzles you don't need. I'm pretty sure I can do this installation by myself, but my buddy Sean, who lives around the corner, will be available to give me a hand. In this case, an extra set of hands will be very welcome. Sean said he'd be over around 9:30 in the morning, so I set things up. I put down some painter's tape on the roof panel. This will help keep the adhesive under control and later help with the edge caulking. Sean arrives and we dry fit the Skylight. Then we taped down some blocks of wood to help us with alignment. I attached the nozzle onto the tube and I trimmed the opening back to allow a bit more of the product to flow. I start applying the adhesive to the roof panel, keeping it towards the inner edge. Once it's all applied, we fit the skylight back in place, set the wooden rack in position on the flange, and apply the 80 pounds in weight. We check to be sure the flange is making good contact with the roof panel, and then let the adhesive set up. Thanks for the help, Sean. Now go back to work. I give it a couple hours, then I remove the weights and the rack. You can see how the Sikafast was compressed under the flange, securely attaching it. I still need to seal the flange edges, so I get a new tube of Sikaflex 221 urethane sealant. There's a very slight gap at the edge between the roof panel and the flange. The object is to force the sealant into this gap. This will weather seal the edges and keep water from working its way under the skylight. Applying Sikaflex is easy, but it can get a bit messy. So I keep folded paper towels dampened with alcohol handy. If things get out of control, the alcohol does a nice job cleaning up the wet Sikaflex. It's all sealed and it's time to raise the roof back up. I pick up all my equipment, reinstall the inner garnish and shade, and wrestle that mattress back on the bed. This job is done. If you decide to do this on your AFrame camper, I will put the source links for all the materials I bought in my comments. Don't forget to contact me and let me know how many mixing nozzles you want. This was a pretty big job, but I'm hoping that this video plus my other episodes will give you the confidence to do this on your own. How about high-fiving that like icon, jingle the notification bell, and subscribe to my channel. Another very special thank you to all of you that follow me. You are really super. Until next time, keep camping.